Hello friends and welcome. Myself NV Patil, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department of KK. In this video we are going to see the MATLAB code used to solve the linear simultaneous equation using the Gauss elimination method. The Gauss elimination method is one of the direct methods used to solve the linear simultaneous equations. The given linear simultaneous equations are written in the matrix form, that is Ax is equal to B. Then this matrix is converted into upper triangular form by the row operations, and then we are applying the backward substitution method to get the solution of the problems. So let's see the MATLAB code. This is the MATLAB code written for the Gauss elimination method, and it is used only for the square matrices. The percentage symbol is used to give the comments. Then first we are using the three magical words CLC, clear all and close all. The given matrix will be taken as an input from the user and it is assigned to variable A and B. The coefficient matrix is assigned to variable A and constant matrix, that is the right hand side matrix, is assigned to variable B. Then the length of B is assigned to variable N. Because B is the singular matrix and length is the MATLAB syntax which is used to denote the number of elements in that matrices. Now after taking the input, we are going to convert the matrix into upper triangular form, and while converting it into upper triangular form, the first pivot row will remain as it is and the changes will be occur in the below pivot rows. So we are changing the elements in row wise and column wise also. So that's why we are using the two for loops. First for loop is for I is equal to 1 to n, where n is the number of elements in the B matrix, and second loop is for k is equal to I plus 1 to n. This second loop is starting from I plus 1 because the pivot row will remain as it is and the changes is occur in the below pivot row. So that's why this k loop is starting with I plus 1 up to the n numbers. And to convert the matrix into upper triangular form, we are using the row operation as R2 is equal to R2 minus A21 divided by A11 into R1, and R3 is equal to R3 minus A31 divided by A11 into R1. So here R2 and R1 is the row number and this A21 divided by A11, it is nothing but the factor. So same here, A31 by A11 is the constant factor and A32 by A22 is again the constant factor. So these terms we are going to assign to variable f as a factor. So that's why here it is written as f is equal to A in bracket k comma I divided by A in bracket I comma I. So when our I becomes 1, then our k becomes 2. So the factor for the second row will be 2 comma 1 divided by A 1 comma 1. Then we are making the changes in the second row. So the second row of A matrix will be denoted as A in bracket k comma colon. So it will be considered the total second row because the k value is 2. Then which is equal to again R2 minus factor into R1. So this A I comma colon will be denoted as a row number 1. Then same changes will be occur to the right hand side matrix, that is a B matrix also. So we are writing B in bracket k is equal to B in bracket k minus factor into B in bracket I. It means again for the B matrix row 2 minus factor into row 1. And then we are ending this k loop and then we are ending the loop for I loop. This loop will be run for n number of times. If we are having the 3 elements, that means 3 number of rows, then first our I is 1, then k becomes 2, then these changes will be occur to the second row. Then again there will be a first increment in k, that is k becomes 3, also the n value is 3, so we are ending for the nth loop. Then the factor is assigned, then these changes will be occur to the third row, and similarly for the right hand side matrix of the third element of B matrix. Then this loop will be end as we are finish up to the n number, that is 3 number, then there will be a increment in I loop, so I becomes 2, then here k becomes I plus 1, that is k becomes 3, and then these changes will be occur to again the third row. So in this way we are converting the given matrix into upper triangular form by using this loop. Then we need to apply the backward substitution method to get the solution of the problem. In backward substitution method, to the right hand side of this value variable x of I, again there is a x variable is present. So we need to initialize this x value before applying the backward substitution, otherwise we will be get the error. So we are initializing the x value as a zeros of n comma 1. So this is the initialization. Here it means we are putting the x value as all zeros having n number of elements by 1. So it is again a singular matrix. Then we are applying the backward substitution. In backward substitution we are going from last to first. So that's why the for loop is used for I is equal to n to 1 and the step size is -1, because we are moving from bottom to start. So that's why the increment must be given as a -1 and we are starting with nth value and ending with the first value. Then we are calculating the x value. So x of I is equal to in bracket b of I minus a of I comma I plus 1 to n into x of I plus 1 to n bracket complete, and whole will be divided by a I comma I, and then we are printing the values of x. So how these loops will be works, as we know that first we are calculating the nth value. So if our n value is 3, then we are calculating the third value, that is x of 3, and we know that x of 3 is equal to b3 divided by a33. So here b of I means its value is a b3 minus then a of I comma I plus 1. So I becomes 3 initially and comma 3 plus 1. So our n value is 3, so it is not going forward. So this term will be not going to take in part and we will directly get divided by a 3 comma 3. So we will be get x3 is equal to b3 divided by a33, and then it will print the values of x3. So I am going to explain the fprintf syntax again later one. So when this third value is get printed, then again it will increment will be takes place in I by -1. So I becomes 2. Then we will calculate the x of 2 value. We know that x of 2 is equal to b2 minus a 2 comma 3 into x3 divided by a22, right? So here when I becomes 2, it will be calculated as x of 2 is equal to b of 2 minus a 2 comma again 2 plus 1, that is a 3, that is 2 comma 3 into x I plus 1, so x of 3, and then divided by a 2 comma 2. So then it will print the values of x2, and then again the increment will be taken place in I by -1. So I becomes 1, and then we will calculate the x1 value, and we know that x1 is equal to b1 minus a 1 comma 2 into x2 minus a 1 comma 3 into x3 divided by a 1 1, right? So when our I is 1, then we will be get as a x1 is equal to b1 minus a 1 comma I plus 1, so it becomes a 1 comma 2 into x2, and also here it is written as up to the nth value. So as our nth value is 3, so it is going up to the third value, so this term will be repeated again. So it means we are getting again a 1 comma 3 into x of 3. So we will be get as a b1 minus a 1 comma 2 into x2 minus a 1 comma 3 into x3 divided by a 1 1, and then we'll print the values of x1 using this fprintf syntax. Now in this fprintf syntax, here we are using the %d value. So %d means the integer and %f means the floating point value. So at the place of %d, we will printing the I value, that is 3, 2 and 1, because I is starting from 3 to 1. And then at %f value, we are printing the x of I value. So in this way, we will be get the solution. Now let's run this program. So to run this program, we are going to click on this run icon. When you click on this run icon, if your program is previously saved, then directly you will be get in the command window. And if the program is not previously saved, then it asks you to save the program. I have already saved my program as a p_gauss_elimination. While saving the program, you need to remember that at the start later, then you can give the file name as a name of the program. So, but don't use any syntax or any MATLAB commands, and don't use any spaces between the characters. Instead of space, you can use the underscore. As I have previously saved this program, so I am directly going to click on this run icon. And when I click on this run icon, if your program is saved in the current directory, then you will be get directly the command window. But if it is not saved in the current directory, then it is ask you to change the folder or add to the path. So you may click on change folder or add to path. I am going to click on add to path and then going to click on this command window. So my program is done and it is asked me to enter the matrix of A. So if there is any error in your program, then it generate in the command window, it displays the error. But if it is not any error, then your program will be get run and you need to enter the values. So for entering the values, let's consider one numerical. Now let's consider this numerical. The given linear simultaneous equations are written in the matrix form, in the form of augmented matrix. So this is the left hand side matrix, that is a coefficient matrix denoted as A, and this is the right hand side matrix, that is the constant matrix denoted by B. You need to remember these terms. We are going to enter these elements in MATLAB. Now while entering the matrix, we need to use the square bracket, and in square bracket we need to enter the values of A matrix. So the elements in rows are separated by space or commas, and the rows are separated by colons. So the first row is 4, 1, 2. So we have to write it as a 4, 1, 2. As the first row get completes, then to separate the row, we have to use the semicolon. Then second row is 1, 3, 1. So we have to write 1, 3, 1. As the second row completes, then again we need to use the semicolon. And third row elements are 1, 2, 5. So we have to write 1, 2, 5. As the third row completes, so after the end of the last row, no need to give the semicolon. So when you hit the enter key, then it is ask you the enter the matrix of B. Now B is the singular matrix. So again, while entering this matrix, we are again going to use the square bracket, and this is the singular matrix as a column vector. So after each elements, we need to use the semicolon. So the elements in B matrix are 16, 10 and 12. So first row element is 16, then give the semicolon. Second row element is 10, semicolon. Third row element is 12. Now when you hit the enter key, then you will directly get the solution of this problem. So you will be get the solution as x of 3 value as a 1, x of 2 value as a 2 and x of 1 value as a 3. So we are going this solution from backward to the start, because in backward substitution loop we are use the fprintf syntax. Now let's check these answers using the MATLAB solver. So MATLAB solver syntax is inverse of A into B. So for that purpose we need to define first the A and B matrix initially. So I am going to use again percentage symbol and solver. So it is used as a comment. Then I am going to define the A matrix. So just copying this A matrix by using Ctrl C and pasting here and making the changes. So instead of here colon, I am going to use equal to. Then at the end, if you giving the semicolon, the values are not will be get displayed. If you not giving the semicolon, the value will be get displayed again. So to suppress the answer, I am going to use the semicolon, then hit the enter key, and then now going to define the B matrix. So again copying and pasting the values and making the changes. Instead of colon, I am going to use the equal to sign. Again using semicolon and give the enter key. And now I am going to use the solver syntax for simultaneous equation. So solver syntax for all simultaneous equations are same. So the syntax is inverse of A into B. So for inverse, it will be used as a INV, then in bracket A, that is A matrix, then into B. So the solver syntax is inverse of A into B, and when you hit the enter key, you will be get the solution as 3, 2 and 1. So this is the first value of x, that is 3. So you will be get by program also x of 1 is 3. This is the second value of x, that is x of 2 is equal to 2, and this is the third value of x as a 1, that is x of 3 is equal to 1. So in this way you will be able to calculate the solution of the problem using Gauss elimination method very easily. So if you are having any queries or questions, you can post your queries and questions in the comment box. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.